I have to tell you guys something. Hello. I don't have a tripod yet, so this will have to do. We bought a house! We finally bought a house! And this is the future spider room, the future animal room. This is it. We did it. And I'm probably gonna yap a lot, but I don't have time for that right now because my friend Jen is helping us move all the animals here today and hopefully all their enclosures. And let me tell you, this move has been the worst. However, I anticipated it to suck as much as it does, which is why we stayed in our teeny tiny apartment for so long. It's because we wanted to buy a house. We really needed more space, but it didn't make sense to go rent another bigger place and try to find a landlord who allows all the animals, because that's not easy. I'm very lucky that the one we had didn't care, but a lot of them do. We didn't want to go rent a bigger place for a year or two and then have to do this all again. Let me show you really quick. So this is like a really interesting room. It's connected to a garage. And it's really nice because the garage goes into the backyard too. So if I need to like clean enclosures, I can just go out this way, like really easy access outside. Here's where my desk is gonna be. And it's like a L-shaped desk. It's not here yet. There's gonna be a spider shelf here. There's gonna be a spider shelf here and a big spider shelf here. This is where the main spider shelf will be. And then another matching one gonna go there. Obviously, those are coming from the internet. They're not here yet. This is where the snakes are gonna go. The snakes and the reptiles are gonna go on this wall. Obviously not Bowser. Bowser is gonna go in the basement until spring when we can make him a nice little pond back there. That is the plan. So that's gonna be a next year project, but in the meantime, he'll go in the basement. I already had people ask me if I'm going to be filming on the floor, and the answer is yes. The great thing though about this place is I can set up in front of this window or the one behind me depending on how much better the light is. I prefer to film with a natural light. I know how to use studio lights, but I like natural light. I just prefer it. So it's great because I have lots of natural light in here. This room is just like perfect. And I absolutely love this house. I will show you more of this house shortly. But as you see, it's kind of it's coming together, but it's gonna be a minute. I just moved the dogs today, so what? I just moved the dogs today, so they're like really confused what's going on. It's okay though. It's very weird. Let me show you guys. This is like my favorite though. So this house is an old house. It's probably haunted. I already hung up some of my monster stuff. This is a mess, okay? We have a vision, okay? But really cool. Check this out though. I'm a little nervous because I'm here by myself right now and I'm not quite used to it, but this is probably one of the coolest things about this house. So spooky. I was telling Eric, I was like, we need to make this like a haunted house for Halloween. And that opens too to even another room. It's kind of scary though. I'm not going in there by myself right now. It's not a bad vibe. It's for sure not a bad vibe, but it's a vibe. Yeah. So yeah, the house was built in the 1940s, and lucky for me, I saved a bunch of my grandma's like antique furniture. So like we have awesome furniture to like match the vibe. It's pretty great. This is actually an old family portrait. That's my great grandma. I actually did know her, and that's my great grandma. So I'm excited to tell you more, but I can't right now because they're waiting for me at the apartment to start moving these spiders, and I'm gonna document a little bit of it, but my priority is gonna be moving the animals. I will kind of briefly show you how I'm doing that. And then I have a lot to yap about. I don't even know. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so I know you guys have been asking how I'm moving the spiders. These are my jumping spiders. We're not going a far distance, so this is what I'm gonna do. I taped the lid shut on some of these enclosures, but I pretty much put them all in these bins, and I filled the bins with like sheets or blankets to keep them from moving around. So that is how I'll be moving most of these enclosures, like the smaller ones. As for the snakes, we took all the snakes out of their enclosures last night and put them in bins just so that they're ready to go today. And yeah, so it's just really simple. A bin, Aspen, and then we'll move their enclosures separately so nothing falls on them and they don't get hurt or anything. Who do you have, Icky?
I got Icky. He's in my shirt.
Hi, Eggy.
We're just gonna throw them in the U-Haul.
Okay, can we, these aren't too heavy, right?
No.
Okay.
They're PVC, they're pretty light. They're sturdy, but light.
All right, welcome home. These are the first spiders that are entering. We have jumping spiders. I gotta unpack and then go back home and do it over and over and over and over again until everybody's here. Where are you, Binks? Oh, she's all the way up in her flowers. She probably didn't like the move. Lucky for them, we're not far from the apartment, so. These are the pokies. And I actually taped these down, the lids, just in case. My Y diversities, my avicularias. This one is, oh, you're so scared, and you just molted. A cricket got out. Let's feed Winona. She shut the door on us. Let's do it again, and again, and again, and again. Also, I would be going in through the garage, but I don't know how to open the garage. So we are back, and I've got to tape some of these, specifically you. We don't need a pokey getting out in transit, so we are just carefully taping. Ah! Go. Where are they? Oh, you know what? I don't even care. I don't even care where they're going. I know where they're going. Just matters where they end up. Just. All right, so it looks like my friend Jen and Eric have loaded up a ton of things. Do we have, oh, are those all the snake? Yep, all the snake enclosures are in there. Well, the big ones. My goodness, it's chaos. All right, update. We have almost all the snakes over, and here are their enclosures. Obviously, it's a chaotic mess in here, but it's coming along. I mean, the big stuff is here, which is basically those. All right, I probably need about 2 more trips, but one question I really have is how did we fit all of these spiders in our bedroom and reptiles besides the corn snakes? It's crazy. As I'm moving animals in, I see neighbors like looking over at us, and I had like 23 tarantulas I counted in my car, 23 tarantulas, and I put them all on the porch and started moving them in, and of course one of the neighbors was like, hi, and I was like, hi, with like a bunch of spiders in my hand, and I'm like, oh my god, like, please don't come introduce yourself right now because I don't want to scare you. It's kind of weird because I never really tell people what I do. I usually say I'm an animal educator, or I say I work for Google. So like if I don't want them to know, I'll just be like, oh, I do stuff for Google or something like that. So that's kind of like what all my old neighbors thought I did, was stuff for Google or some animal education. Like they didn't know that much, and I prefer to keep it that way, like in real life. So Mr. Tarantula Kat is building some furniture in the pet room for me, so I decided to come hide in my attic and just talk a little bit, fill you guys in, and just, I'm gonna yap. Probably gonna be personal and boring and not too animal related, so if you're not interested in that, you can end the video here, and you know, no worries, I'll have like a tour up soon of the new animal room, and we'll be getting back to like normal content very shortly. I have a ton of things planned, but if you're interested in like yapping, let the yapping commence. My friend's coming over. She's going to go downstairs and ground the outlets in the animal room. All right, turn it off. I didn't realize they were only 2-prong and they're not ground, which I remember the inspector telling me that, but I don't think I knew what that meant. And oh my god, like I have learned so much. I didn't even know how like a home loan worked until we were like almost done. So it was like a process. It was very scary. Pull out couch. Your desk. My little bookcase. Little table under there, like right under the window. All my witchy shit, and I want to keep it open. Because I want to take pictures there, so I want it to be very minimal and like very, yeah. Maybe I'll put a plant in there for sure though. Pothos or something. This was the first house that we looked at, and it's so funny because my realtor didn't even send me this one. I just randomly found this house and I said, oh, can we look at this one too? And she was like, yeah, that'll be the first stop. I was like, cool. So we came here to this house not expecting much. Like I don't even think I really looked at the listing very much. I just sent it to her among many others. And when we pulled up in the street, I was like, oh, this is a really cute street. Cool. We walk into the house and I immediately realized this is an older home. Exactly what I want. Exactly what I want. It has the fenced backyard. It had multiple places that we could put the animals. It had this really cool attic with that might be haunted on the other side, and just a ton of space, and it was very different than all the other houses we looked at, but it was a little bit more on the pricey side. It was a little out of our budget. I absolutely fell in love with this house and I immediately wanted to make it work, but my realtor was like, no, let's keep looking. And then, you know, we did. We continue to look at houses all night and then part of the next day. And then I came to the open house to this one, and I went in the basement, and that's when I noticed there's like this Black Widow sticker that's like on the basement floor. And when I tell you, that was like my sign, like that this was our house, and I just knew it was going to work out and everything was going to be fine. We actually ended up getting it like under listing, and she did all the repairs we asked for except like one little thing, but it's not a big deal. I have been wanting to get out of that apartment for so long. I mean, let me just say, we never even picked that apartment. Back when I got pregnant with Fiona, we ended up needing to find a new apartment that had 2 bedrooms. So I found this really beautiful building, and it was huge. It was a very, very big apartment. It was not very expensive, and it was built in the 1930s, which is the same period-ish that this house was built in. And I absolutely fell in love with it. I fell in love with the architecture. It had these like beautiful wood floors, all the white walls with like just old, you know, it's very distinct when a house was built during this time period. It was so much bright light. So, and I mean, the first video that I ever filmed for this channel about tarantulas was at that apartment. But unfortunately, and this is something that I haven't really talked about much, but one night when I went to work, Eric called me like a million times. He blew up my phone. I slipped away and called him back, and he told me that a bullet had gone off from the upstairs apartment, and it went through her playpen and into our floor. And so let me just say, those neighbors, I am so good about minding my own business, but I knew that they were up to things, and I didn't feel really safe, but that was really our only option at the time given the circumstances. And so when that happened, I mean, Fiona had been in that playpen like 5 minutes before that had happened, and I was so upset. I told our landlord, we have to leave, like we have to leave now. We ended up throwing everything in that apartment in boxes, and our landlord put us in the apartment that we were in the past like 7 years. So basically it was just what he had available and what we could get the fastest, and he just moved us there. Like, you know, it was just, he transferred everything and that was it. So obviously that was really traumatizing for me. That was a big reason why I wanted to stay at home and work. There was multiple things going on at the time, but that was a huge factor. I was so scared to leave her. You know, YouTube, I eventually was like, I have to make YouTube work. Like there was multiple things going on at the time, but I was like, I need to, you know, turn this into something that's going to work. Started like really putting my all into this channel and building it, because I was like, this is what I love to do. This is what works best for my family. Like this has to work. You know, it was a very slow thing to build up, but eventually I was able to leave the job and stay home. And so yeah, we stayed at that apartment a long time, but I will say that we had so many issues with it that bothered us. But the thing was, is we were kind of trapped there. For the most part, like it was okay. Like the first couple years, everything was fine. But eventually, like as YouTube grew, as my animals grew, we ran out of space. And I'll say like the past like year or so, we needed to get out of there. There was a lot of things going on, but one of the biggest was that once again, we got some upstairs neighbors, and I will just say that the DEA had raided them. And so obviously I didn't feel safe, especially when I found out what was going on above us and above my animals. Also, there was issues with the apartment itself. It just got to be very like unsafe. Like we had to leave. And so I contacted the realtor, and this was like so quick. Like we were out of there so fast. I feel so much better here. I don't have to worry about a lot of things that I did back at that apartment. And while I did have some good neighbors, and I did get along with everybody, like including the people upstairs, like I was always nice to them, they were always nice to me, but it just, especially because of what had happened and why we were there and got moved there, that kind of had my anxiety high all the time. We're just really fortunate and grateful, and just, I can't believe that every piece fell into place, like it really did. And I'm really grateful for all of you who have supported my channel, who've just watched my videos, especially those who have bought my merch, used my affiliate codes, bought my plushies, which I have also been working on those. It's been chaotic because I've been working on plushies and enclosures and stuff too throughout all this, plus obviously taking care of the animals, and then moving everything was chaos. I mean, last night we built shelves, we tore the shelves down. There is a lot going on. You know, I apologize for any delays that may occur, but I do have like a schedule and everything that I'm pretty much sticking to. I knew there would be some chaos, but yeah, I will show you guys. I will give you a full house tour once everything is like come together. Like, it doesn't need to be 100%. It'll never be 100%. So I think you guys are filled in for the most part. Like this video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're not, and you want to be. Don't forget I have an Instagram to use probably way too much. It's at Tarantula.Kat. You can go follow me there. I also have a website and everything. It's linked down below. I will see you guys soon. Let's get into the Patreon pet pics.